Whoa, we got quite the fallout. Hey, I'm Brian and I'm mostly doing this video because I'm interested in what you think of all of this, so after you've watched it, be sure to get down in the comments and tell me. I'm of course also going to tell you what I think, but first of all, what actually happened? Well, within the ongoing trade dispute with China, the US government, or I guess most prominently President Donald Trump, has put Huawei on a blacklist. Now, what does this mean? It means that all US companies doing business with Huawei now have to have a permit from the US government. And because this ban is pretty new, this permit doesn't exist yet, and it's also pretty unlikely to be granted. And this has especially implications for the smartphone market right now. As a consequence of this, Google has announced that they're going to suspend all security patches and Android updates for existing Huawei devices, and upcoming Huawei devices will not even get access to the Play Store and other Google apps like Gmail, Google Drive, and others. It's nice though that they didn't just cut access to Play services for existing Huawei phones, because that would have effectively bricked those devices for people. Huawei has already brought out a statement that they're going to try to deliver security patches and Android updates to their existing devices through other channels than Google, but it will be very interesting what this means for the further development. Because the new Honor 20 that is going to launch tomorrow actually, will that have access to Play services or will that already be cut? And will that device then basically be dead on arrival? Now, Huawei is also working on their own operating system alternative to Android, because I've guessed they have seen this coming. But even if they do release their own AOSP open source based Android version without access to the Play Store for their devices, they're not really going to gain back all of the market share that they now have in Western markets, I guess. In the big Chinese market, this is not as big of an issue because people over there don't have access to Play services anyway. But for India or the European market, not having Google Play services on Huawei devices is going to be a huge blow to a lot of customers. And I also hope that employees in carrier or tech stores are going to inform people about this. Because if you can't install WhatsApp on your new shiny Huawei device, then the functionality of it is significantly limited. A lot of people already say that they want Huawei to succeed with their new operating system, but like we've seen with Windows Phone, without the app ecosystem and the network effect of a huge user base, it's really hard to gain momentum for a new operating system, so I wouldn't really put my bets on that. And Huawei has so far also not been the most welcoming company when it comes to unlocking the bootloader of their devices, so custom ROMs with Google Play Store support are basically out of the question too, especially for the huge number of people that don't know how to do that. So for the masses, even if custom ROMs were an option, Huawei devices would still be out of question. It will also be interesting to see what this means for Windows laptops from Huawei, because Microsoft is also a US company, and will they also be limited from doing business with them? And this whole development also brings in a lot of uncertainty for other Chinese companies doing business with Microsoft or Google. For example, OnePlus or Lenovo. Will people still be comfortable buying a Lenovo laptop or a OnePlus phone with the knowledge that the US government could just put that company on the blacklist, basically cutting their access to the App Store or updates? Of course, the official explanation for putting Huawei on the blacklist from the US government is that they think that Huawei is spying on people through their telecommunications equipment, so the Chinese government would get all that data. But I think the real reason is highly political. And what really worries me about this is that it shows how much influence the US government and especially the US president have over the technology market. They can just put companies on blacklists, basically disrupting the whole phone market altogether. So as I've said before, I'm really interested in what you think about this. Tell me in the comments down below how you think things will develop and how Huawei will survive going forward. If you enjoyed this video, you know which buttons to press, and don't forget to press that follow button on Twitter. I'm Brian, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.